I've been a councillor for 2 terms now locally, and I think it's time for me to move up into regional council. Not new to me, but I've been involved in community service for over 40 years. And that 40 years is getting involved in the community and bringing up new ideas and new innovative things. And I think that's what we need on councils, people with ideas.
What do you see as sort of the top issues for Milton in the next?
Well, the top issues obviously and have been and will continue to be growth. And that affects everything, our traffic, our density, and density is going to increase again. You're going to see, well, places to grow, and that means everything goes up, not out. So it's to stop sprawl. For me, regionally, I'll be fighting for to get infrastructure that's required by the region. Like our roads, like the Dairy Road's supposed to go to 4 lanes, so is Britannia, which now has been approved to start, as well as other major roads, and these are regional roads. It's very important that those roads get expanded before we start building 8-story and 10-story buildings and complexes on those roads. And once they're built, smaller roads, it just causes all kinds of confusion. So I think it's important that that we have someone representing Ward 2 at Regional Council. Ward 2, I think, is the same issues at any other wards. Again, it's congestion, traffic, growth, density, and density is going to get higher again in the next few years. Huge. Affordable housing. Now, pretty well in Ward 2. Again, when I was in Ward 5, it was that period, my first term, was really half new and half old. So I had tried bridging the gaps between old and new, and I understand both sides. Now, even in older parts of Milton, there are young families moving in everywhere. I mean, our average age is 34, so they're everywhere. These are young families, they're growing, and I think so far we're doing a pretty good job looking after those young families and what they're going to need, but we have a lot more to do.
How would you bring better jobs to Milton?
Well, I think that we're already well on our way for that. I think with our Dairy Green, which is hopefully going to bring a lot more jobs, as well as what we've been doing with economic development and our partnerships with Laurier University and with the region. I don't know if you're familiar with the piece that went out in the Globe and Mail and all over the GTA and everywhere promoting Milton called Perspective. That piece was a phenomenal piece. It talks all about why you should come here. And with our Education Village and with Laurier and with Conestoga, that's going to bring higher paid jobs.
How would you manage growth?
Well, first of all, I think we have to plan and have to have infrastructure in place to manage that growth, and I have to make sure that we're not doing things in the past. And some councils back 20 years ago, 15, 16 years ago, even 12 years ago, allowing developers to have streets that have no parking on either side, narrow streets, having driveways that only have one car. That's unacceptable. We have to make sure that we plan so that's not done again. So we're looking at that kind of things. I mean, we're looking at more people now, and people don't have one car. They have 2, they have 3 cars. I mean, that may change in another 15, 20 years, but that's not the case right now. So we have to adapt to what the needs are for our community.
Well, there's been issues surrounding the council compensation, like a technology budget, or a possible staff resource person. How would you address those concerns?
Excuse me, if I'm a councillor, I'm a councillor. If you're talking about have assistance, that's a lot of money. First of all, those people are asking for that. Why did we go from 4 wards to 8 years ago, now back to 4? And then those same people that are voting for that want to have assistance. Yeah. Excuse me, that means you're going to have more money, cost more money. The job of the councillor is to be doing these things and not to have taxpayers paying for newsletters and promotions of councillors. That's just wrong. You get involved in your neighborhood, get involved in your community, get on the committees, into various aspects of the community, into coaching, into sports. Get out there and be active, and then you'll find out and understand what's going on. Get involved in the community with the rest of our community, and that's what's important, not having somebody else do your job as a councillor. I disagree with that.
How would you encourage affordable housing?
Well, first of all, I think we have to look at it. One of the ways is, and we now have that, municipalities now have the ability to ask developers that 30% of the development, say a condo or an area, that 30% has to be affordable. And that now we have the authority to do as a council in municipalities. So we can say, okay, you want to do this? Part of that has to be within a framework that's affordable. And I would encourage more and more development of affordable housing, which you already know I've been involved in. I'm probably the champion of Milton transitional housing. And we have some affordable housing going to be built now and in the plans down on the west side of Milton. Some of the areas for seniors, for example, which comes back to the region, and some of that area down in Allendale, that's where that's going to happen. So we have to get more involved in affordable housing and maybe push it on to our developers. As they develop and expand, they've got to make parts of that affordable.
How would you improve services for seniors and youth?
Well, I think we have to develop again the stuff that we're doing through the region with seniors, and some of the seniors residents that are being built all comes back again out of the region, and a lot of those services again come out of the region, and that's a regional responsibility, and that's why I want to get involved. Ward 2 now has 11,500 homes. 11,500 homes alone. That's just too much to be handling. We have towns that have a mayor and councillors that are smaller than 11,500. I'm not saying that we just because we're adding 2 councillors to the region doesn't mean we should get rid of local councillors. Municipal government is the #1 government that looks after your citizens and your taxpayers. And by eliminating local councillors, personally, to be honest with you, I think this is nothing but an old boys game, network, political game to get control, smaller group to control everything, and it's totally, totally wrong. I would like to see younger people get involved both on committees for years and then run for local council. After a couple of years of local council, move up to regional council. And that's what you have to get involved, know what's going on, and then run for council.
Why should people vote for you?
Because I think I'm the right choice for the region. I'm a positive thinker. I mean, I've just spent this last term being accused of this, being accused of that. It's cost me tens of thousands of dollars to defend myself, which I'm now totally vindicated, completely and absolutely totally vindicated from the OPP. So anything that I was accused of is gone. Everything's in order. It's complete. A summary report was given to the clerk that's been observed by every councillor, but they're not, and I don't know why they're not putting it out to the public. I think that's wrong. But you know, I've been fighting discrimination against me for 3.5, 4 years. It all started from the fellow who lost to me for 2 elections. I went through an entire the Election Act complete audit, clear to that. And then I've had councillors accuse me of things that had no proof. So I'm there because I think I'm the right person with a positive attitude to work with other councillors, to work with the region for the betterment of our community, not to be complaining, but coming up with ideas and being positive and work as a team for the betterment of our community.